Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're looking at Superman and Lois Season 2, Episode 2, titled The Ties That Bind. Before we go into it, please make sure you like this video if you guys have been enjoying it. Please subscribe if you're new. And so this won't be a typical recap. I'm not going to be looking over every single scene that happens in this episode, but just talking about the big things that happen and theorizing about some stuff moving forward. But let's just get right into it. And for this episode, I was pretty excited for it. I thought the first episode was a good start, but I did want some more questions answered. And this episode answers a lot of questions and also lets us know like what this season will probably look like moving forward. And so in the beginning, we have that breakfast scene, right, where Superman all of a sudden gets that vision. And at the time, we didn't know like what this vision actually was or what it connected to. So in my mind, right away, he even references this in this episode. He thinks it's connected to Zod. Maybe it's flashbacks of destruction of Krypton. In my head, I knew that it wasn't the destruction of Krypton. It just seemed like the show was blatantly trying to tell us that, and there was obviously going to be another cop-out to something else. And maybe what Superman is seeing is the future destruction of Doomsday. Because, he hears screams. He sees destructive things happening. But he also hears people screaming and dying. So I thought it was sort of like a foreshadowing of the Doomsday that's coming. We also get some more scenes between Jordan and Sarah and their whole relationship. To sum up this whole thing, that there's a couple scenes between them. In the beginning, we see her at the locker and she's texting someone, right? We obviously knew she was texting someone else, a person from camp probably. And, it's just confirmed by the end that she did actually cheat on Jordan with someone at camp. She's bisexual, as a girl named, starts with the A, I forgot, Abigail or something like that, right? And, Jordan just pushes her away. Like I said in the first episode, like I didn't really care about the Jordan and Sarah stuff. Like that's not why I watched Superman and Lois. They can do whatever and have the relationship break up. They can make up. I don't really care. But it was a nice thing. And for fans of that relationship and everything, it was very interesting development for their relationship. So I thought it was good for the show. We also get a scene with that armor tech thing where they're mining. They're in the mines. They're getting the X-Kryptonite. And Lois is there with her partner, and they're sort of investigating the whole thing. This is where I think it gets a little bit complicated with this armor tech stuff and like what's actually going on there. And they get an X-Kryptonite, and they're using that to experiments on humans, which is illegal, I guess, to make more metahumans, right? And so I guess, this would just show us that Lois is looking into the story. She probably will be the one that, exposes the whole story, which just makes sense since she's like the main journalist of the show. It's called Superman and Lois. There needs to be a focus on Lois's storyline as well. So it looks like she'll be focused with armor tech and everything that's going on there. And she probably will expose them at some point. I like how we also get a scene where Superman randomly has to go and save the day somewhere, right? It's like he just hears something. He's got to just go and do that. And I love when the show does that, because for Superman, like no matter what he's doing, someone out there at some point soon will probably need his help. And I love to see like just randomly he has to go and do something. We get to see that scene where this guy's smoking in, is it the X-Kryptonite stuff? I don't know if that's the same material or not, but he's smoking it in to get powers. And, he punches Superman and actually like, knocks him out. And then, Superman just gets a vision while he's fighting that guy. So he's obviously losing the battle. And then we see those two other government Superman metahumans show up, right? And they sort of save the day. But they're accompanied with the kid from season 1 who Jordan gave powers to pretty much. The Asian kid, he comes back. He's got super speed. Superman makes a note saying to the government guy, Anderson, I think I believe his name is, right? That the kid's not even 18 yet. Like he's barely 18. And the government guy doesn't care. He pretty much says, yeah, he's pretty fast, right? Something like that. And maybe this will be another thing that might be exposed for them. Like they're using kids as metahumans. I could see Lois maybe finding out some more of that, putting it in the newspaper or whatever, and exposing them with that. But it's pretty, like, the whole metahuman stuff is pretty interesting, I think, and the whole human experiment stuff, and seeing different Supermen or metahumans roaming around while Superman's doing his own thing. I think it's pretty interesting. I'm still excited to see how that all is going to play out. One thing I like about this episode is the focus on Luthor and how he has to look at Lois as, someone who's not his wife, even though like we saw a flashback, or it's like it's a flashback of his own memories of the Lois that he had in the other universe, right? And I just think it must be so hard for him to just look at this Lois and have to accept like this isn't my wife, like my wife is dead, even though like he's staring at the same exact face, same amount of personality, but it's just not his wife. And I think seeing that, it's such a compelling relationship. And I love seeing that complicated relationship that he has, because Luthor, that character, I think it's a good actor for playing Luthor. I think he's great. He's playing the character pretty well. And I think it's like a very different layer added onto that character that it's been enjoyable to watch. And then throughout this episode, we also got hints at Lana Lang maybe running for mayor. And then by the end, it's confirmed that she's running for mayor. I think this is cool too. I mean, Lana Lang, she needed some more stuff to do after season 1. Like her husband was a big part, and he had his whole redemption arc. So it's like, what's the use of Lana Lang now? This year, maybe running for Mayor of Smallville, play into more of the politics, maybe something's there. I think it's good for that character moving forward. So I'm excited to see what they do with that, because it's definitely something that they could play around with that could be interesting. Then we see Superman bring Zod to his Fortress of Solitude, Zod's Fortress of Solitude. And we get to see Superman's mom in hologram form, right? But it's like a different. This could be a little confusing too. It's like a different consciousness than before the Krypton blew up. So she's not familiar with a lot of things that are in recent events. And the conversation that she had with Zod, explaining about how like she didn't know and all this stuff. Interesting, good for the lore. Didn't really care about Zod's feeling with his mom and stuff like that. I was more interested in why they were actually there to get answers for Superman's visions. And the mom said that she knew maybe some answers. While Superman's talking to his mom, he gets another vision as we see another earthquake happen. This is where, as the audience, like we connected the dots, like, okay, like his visions now line up with these earthquakes in some way. Then we see Zod break out the handcuffs. We get like a cool scene where we have Jordan versus Zod. Jordan's obviously not strong enough yet to go toe-to-toe with Zod. It made me think, though, like I wonder if I do want to see Jordan don like the Superboy suit at some point. I think it would be a little bit weird if like it's Superman and Lois, and then it's also like wherever Superman goes, like Superboy is like right next to him. I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel about that yet. Like maybe in a future season, or maybe I would love for it to be like maybe the finale of the show. Like Jordan gets the Superboy suit, and that's like how the show ends. I don't know if I actually want to see it play out though. While this is happening, we get to go into the mines where we actually get to see a shot of Doomsday. This is the shot I was able to get from the episode. It's not the best, but it's the best I can do. And it's a CW show, so the suit is gonna look not fantastic, or not suit, but like, what I mean, like the Doomsday outfit or CGI, whatever they do with that character, it's not going to look amazing. This is the CW cable show. It's not going to be movie budget stuff. But this silhouette of him does make me a little bit nervous for the way he's going to look. It does look more like a suit than an actual, like, organic looking creature, which is what Doomsday is, right? He doesn't wear a suit. But it just looks weird. Like, I don't know. I feel like he should be bigger. It looks like but it was a metal suit, right? So maybe it's more comic accurate than I think. Like like I said in the last episode, I'm not totally comic. My knowledge of the comics with Doomsday is like pretty much non-existent. So I don't know. So maybe my opinion here isn't too valid. But I'm still excited for Doomsday. Like I really want to see Doomsday. I want to see what they do with that character. But for right now, like I'm not sold on what. We didn't even see him yet, so I don't even want to say anything. But from here, though, the dude blows up the mine. Like this will probably stop Doomsday at least for that day. Like he probably has to get out of the rubble, whatever, right? Then we see Superman break out of that vision, and he sees Zod beating up his son. So Superman starts like going ham on Zod, like punching him hard. I thought this was pretty good for the Superman character. It was like dark, but I mean the dude just watched him put hands on his son. So I thought it was a good defensive thing for Superman to do. And I love to see that brutality in Superman sometimes as well. And then another dark thing was when Superman brought Zod back to his chamber of solitude right now. And Zod asked Superman, he's like, do you think that they're still good in me? Because the mom thinks they're still good in Zod. And Superman is like, no, I don't really think so. And that was also, I think, really dark for this Superman character. I mean, Superman's always like this optimistic guy, right? He's always thinks that there's good in everyone. But to him to say, like, I don't think that there's good in you, like, I hope not. It was a little bit dark, but also called for since of just recent events. And I think there will be some sort of character change for both of them. Zod will probably end up becoming good. I don't know, if maybe by the end of the season. And then Superman will have like a change of perspective on him. Maybe, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be Superman and Zod versus Doomsday. That's what they're setting up to be, because it's going to be that Superman can't take Doomsday on by himself. He'll probably lose the first battle. Get really beat up. Steel said that he's pretty much done with the suit, but maybe he'll probably come back for that fight. Maybe to fight someone else. Maybe the Supermen, maybe those bad government Supermen. I don't know. Maybe Steel's take them out because they're also working with Doomsday. I don't know. And then we'll see Zod and Superman versus Doomsday. I don't know. Just a little theory. And at the end of the episode, we get the confirmation as Superman explains it to to Steel, to John Irons, and to Lois. That the visions and earthquakes line up. Like that's what his mom was saying. This whole interdimensional thing, like whatever's happening in the mines lines up with his visions. It's Doomsday, right? For some reason, they're connected in some way, right? But then at the very last thing, we see armor tech. Someone comes in and informs the main girl, who's the head of it, and she says that something came through that was more powerful than they thought. And they're referring to Doomsday. So now it's like, are they going to use Doomsday? And that's how the episode ends. So my quick rating for this episode, I think, is a 3.9 out of 5. The first episode I gave a 3.6, so this was like a 3.9. I think it was a lot better than the first one. Answered a lot of questions. We got to see, a deeper look into what the season's going to look like. Lana Lang's going to go after the mayor. Superman and Doomsday, they're connected with the earthquakes and the visions. Jordan and Sarah breaking up. We kind of got to see like what role everyone's going to be playing, in this story moving forward. But the most important thing for me is this armor tech thing, wanting to use Doomsday for their own self-benefit. Like, I wonder what that's all about. And when they say that, what came through was more powerful than they hoped, is that the same thing that brought Natalie here? Like that whatever interdimensional thing? Is Doomsday from Natalie's planet? And did they know about this interdimensional, time hole that came in through or whatever? It's just, I want to know more about that, and I'm excited to see where all that goes. And one question I still have that I sort of brushed by because I was sort of confused on it was Lois and her sister, and like that cult stuff. Like, I don't know why, like that stuff just went right over my head. So if anyone can explain that for me, it'd be greatly appreciated. I was just watching it, and I'm like, Lois's sister, like the cult, like I forgot even about like all this. Like I just totally forgot what even happened. Like I can't recall season 1 like when that was talked about. So that's just me, just I don't know, whatever. But I love this episode. I continue to think this show is great. Definitely for me the most interesting CW show I've seen so far, and I think it's just doing a great job. This is a great episode. What did you guys think? Did you guys love this episode? You have any theories moving forward? What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Please make sure to like this video if you guys have been enjoying it. Please make sure to subscribe for new. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of the day.